What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode. It's the funniest here with Dominique and friends. We are going to have a great show for you as always. We only put funny people on here. I ain't hating on nobody. Sometimes you ain't got to be funny in this business today, but on this podcast, you gonna be funny. And I'm saying, if you go see these people perform and all that, you gonna laugh. So we gonna kick it off with my boy straight out of Tampa. He out here in L.A. with me. Y'all give it up for Robb Peron.
Hey, how y'all doing out there?
And we got on the line. Let me tell y'all about this next guy I'm about to introduce you to. This dude that put money in my pocket. A lot of people not gonna say it because of their indifferences or whatever. But I used to live in the Bronx, and he hails from the Bronx. And he put money in my pocket, and I ain't talking about $50. And I tell him that all the time. He'd call me, and every time he called, he had money for me. And I'm forever indebted in my grandmother's voice. Give it up for my big homie, straight out of the Bronx, New York. Give it up for Capone, the gangster comedy.
What's up? What's up, y'all?
What's up with y'all? How y'all doing? I'm glad y'all here.
Thank you for inviting me down.
So tell the people about yourself. Whoever wants to jump in first, tell them, Robbie, you can start.
All right. Shoot. As Capone and Dominique has said, the legendary. It's not my fault. Out of 33 years of doing comedy, I have a reputation of being the original bad boy at comedy. So whenever a comic came to LA, they looked me up and we hung out and partied. And I hate to say
parties.
Party. So I hate to say, for a guy who doesn't drink and smoke weed,
you would think he did.
Yeah. And you would at least have a great time because we went out. Yes. Don't say nothing, Capone.
Cap just laughing.
Because he got the best surprise in his life. He was like, man, these dudes here.
All I can say.
But it's a blessing because I got to work and befriend a lot of great comics. You being one, Capone being one. The late great Rick Aviles.
Yes.
Remember Rick from New York? Met Rick in the early '90s before he did Ghost. And just befriending these people. It's just been an honor because they're legendary because of what they do. Every day we take a grind.
Every day.
And out of all the female comedians, I have to say with the old school, real comedians, I can name at least 30. And you're one of them. And you know that. You know that. And there's just not that many old school comedians anymore.
No. It's not at all. Cap, talk to the people. Tell the people who you are. They know who you are.
Hey, if you don't know, you're going to find out right now. I am known as the gangster of comedy.
Absolutely.
Street hustler that turned his life around into the game of comedy and put a lot of people on, a lot of people on, and nobody owes me nothing. I just felt like my heart is a good place to where God has used me into, I guess you would say, what you call that? A vessel.
Amen.
To help people launch their careers.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that I'm still, relevant and still able to do my thing. And I'll just keep it right there until we move further.
When you the real and you got the juice, you're gonna do it till the casket drop. That's how that's gonna be.
That's right.
As long as you keep saying this is what I want to do. When you got it, you're going to keep it going. You know what I mean?
No
so, Cap, we were talking about something that I want to talk about with the people. And we talk about this, but we talk about this on this podcast, but I like to get everybody's opinion on this particular subject. So go ahead, Cap, and kick it off where we left off before we were live.
Okay. So, as you know, a lot of us comedians been in this business for over 15, 20 years. And throughout the course of the career, things change. And now this is the era of comedians that are put into position to have to be able to do shows. And they're funny on the internet, but it's kind of a different story for some of them on stage. And nowadays, some comedians are suffering, both the internet comedians and also the good veteran comedians. And the reason I say that they're suffering is because now that these clubs want to put asses in seats, they kind of overlook the veterans who paved the way. And they put in these young people in because they want, people to be in. And there are some people who get disappointed because they're not seeing the funny that they thought they would see live. But it's also hurting the veteran comedians because the veteran comedians are kind of not putting their asses in seats, so the clubs say, the way that these internet comedians are. Now, how I feel about it is basically this. I have no disrespect or dislike for the internet comedians. This is something that us veterans need to take up and put ourselves out there, because if this is what it takes for us to get into these shows and there's no TV shows like there used to be, because back then we used to be the guys who the other veterans looked at us like we had it lucky, for the simple fact that when Def Jam came out, they said, and I remember them saying it about us, oh yeah, y'all lucky. Y'all didn't have to pay the way like we paid the way when this Def Jam came out. So now y'all getting shows all over just because you did Def Jam.
Yeah,
so
that's real. It's kind of like the same thing. That's real.
I don't want to interrupt, but it's exactly what you're saying. We have, and I don't want to throw out any names, but we have these internet comedians who have all these followers. Now it's how many followers do you have on social media? So they're getting booked at these clubs, getting paid normally what we get paid, and half the clubs are throwing them an opener. Because it would be the old day, Dominique, if I wanted to start being a headliner, I had to open for you. Feature for you. And then I jump on the road and feature for Capone.
Yeah.
And now I'm going back to the club 3 months later, headlining. Yeah. We had to build it up the old school way.
Yes.
And it's not like that anymore because I have followers. Now the clubs are trying to build up their own roster by having a feature. Now this feature can be just a shoehorn. He get up there, profanity-ridden, stealing jokes, no matter what it is, he's doing it. And now we have to follow this?
Yeah.
The club wants our fan base. And that's how they're building up their fan bases. So you have these guys who have their 2 and 3 second and 5 minute clips, and they're getting notoriety, and they're getting weekend bookings. But if you've noticed, I know you've noticed, Capone, instead of the old, 4 shows, they're doing Iron Man 6 shows, and they're still not selling out.
No, I don't think that they're selling out, but they people come see them, and it's a numbers-driven game. And I agree with Cap. You do have to get involved, but I still believe that there's more than one way to skin a cat. I just don't know that. I think that what they do is good now. I think it's an art to it. It's something to be said about being on that phone all day long and performing on that phone all day long. And it almost appears to me as being a thing for a young person. It's sketched out for a young person. It's like people our age, how do we get on here? If it would have came out when I was 26 and when you was 26 and Cap was 26, we would kill the shit. But we had Def Jam. But I agree with Cap. You got to make it work the way it worked for you and get in that kind of way. But I also feel like if you got the goods and you funny, you going to get where you going
every time,
regardless.
Yes. Every time.
I agree.
You have comics like we'll go backwards.
Okay.
We have Carrot Top.
Yes.
Who opened a way for colleges. Yes. We've got Vince Champ, who's no longer with us. He's incarcerated, who also, this brother opened up $250,000 a year for comics doing colleges. Yeah. So you have
what happened to him?
He's currently doing, I can't say 35 years, 25 years for rape.
Oh, okay. You can't just say somebody locked up and then keep going. You can't just say, and he's locked up. You like, wait a minute, what'd he do?
Look, I remember when People Magazine had contacted me about, hey, Vince, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. No habla inglés. Yeah. You ain't messing them up.
Wow.
But this was years ago. Okay. But you have these comics who open doors for us. They opened doors for us on a college circuit. Because remember, we had to do everything from NACA. We had to do all the, you heard about it. It was word of mouth how you got into these showcases. Yes. So these comics opened their way. Then you have Dane Cook, who busted MySpace, 1 million followers.
Wow.
Which opened up the whole internet market, and now people were playing from that. So the old school way of doing it, you have somebody that we have right now. Cap did it because, remember, the top dogs of comedy, New York Kings of comedy.
Absolutely.
And not only were they killing the East Coast, the Midwest, and the South with this, it brought back a resurgence of other people saying, I'm going to put these tours together.
Yes.
With credible headliners.
Mm-hmm.
With credible headliners. So, I mean, that's something that Cap has done. And then you remember the old days in New York, Cap. Come on. You can go to New York and
you can make money in New York.
It's a $3,000 to $5,000 a week.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still the same way, but I know that you can make money in New York.
Yeah. Well, that was the easy thing. You'd go out there and it'd be a quick $3,000 to $5,000. Sure. You make a phone calls here and there. Then you make sure you see Tina Graham.
Yeah.
Tina would put you on that
Shout
run.
out to Tina Graham.
Shout out Godmother Comedy.
Oh. I need one of these holders. Go ahead, Rob.
And that was the whole thing. You would shoot it. Or I'd call, hey, Cap, I'm going to be in your area. You got something for me? Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Smokey Suarez, Rob Stapleton. I'd call my friends, even when Craig Frazier had his room.
Yeah.
And New York was the place for LA and Midwest comics to come to lose. And I say that because we had this arrogance out here.
Yeah.
We in Hollywood, we're doing this, and you would get fed your heart with the side of your ass.
Yeah, you get killed in New York. I don't care what nobody say. And I always say, I'm from D.C., hands down, born and raised in Southeast Washington, D.C. Shout out to D.C. Hands down. But as a comic, New York City birthed me as a comic. And Cap, no. Cap, no.
Yes, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
man.
as a comic, the comic you see now, that came from New York City and working in New York. I mean, it's just what it is. Like, people are often tell me now, you just keep going, this rapid fire pace, you keep going. Well, I came up in New York. You better not pause or Charmel gonna be like, yo, Capone, we drinking and yo, this is whack. Come on, man. Get off the stage, B.
No, Peppermint. Peppermint's in Jersey.
Peppermint Lounge in Jersey.
Jersey. Look, New York wasn't that bad, the late shows. It was Jersey that was hurting my feeling.
Yeah, it was good.
Yachty rooms.
But it was
Get him off the stage now.
But it was good training ground. And one thing I can see in the conversation that we're talking about that really, really makes sense is this right here. We talk about the internet comics and all that stuff. But if you look at what's really going on with the club scene and all that stuff, everybody has been, it's a big honor and it's a big thing. When you get in the club and you able to headline the club, Cap will tell you, Robbie, people congratulate you. When I got in the club, they congratulated me. They were like, congratulations, they let you in, which is kind of fucked up that you should have to be congratulated. But that's just what it is. And they congratulated.
You have to look at it like this. There's still a lot of people who has not been able to come over that next barrier for the clubs. And I hate to say it, people always, I remember me starting and everybody had something to say. I think that was probably the most hated comedian for whatever reason. And
I don't know. I never understood what that was about. It just had a lot to do with Cap, and I'll say this, a lot of it had to do with a lot of jealousy thing with Cap, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because Cap, it's not, everybody is not able to make money different kind of ways.
Yeah.
This man could make money. Cap can have other ventures and all this kind of stuff in corporation with comedy, and people don't know how to respect people's hustle. That's all I'm gonna say.
And you know what the problem is you give people those gifts and they still don't know how to accept them. Yeah. And then they wonder till this day. You look at it honestly, Dominique, there's a lot of comedians that's in our era that has never been able to go headline. And they've been rocking these clubs and rocking that, but that just goes to show the business part about it. Because the business part is you have to be able to put people in the seats. And it's nothing personal. No, you can rock 3,000 shows, but if you're not able to put people in the seats yourself, it's an issue.
Yeah, they're going to have a problem with that.
I had a discussion with a promoter, and this guy's name is Apollo. And really cool guy, and he was doing things up in Seattle, bringing black comedy back. And he had just said straight up, he goes, can you put asses in seats? He says, will your name bring people? And I said to him, no. Right now, my name is not going to do that. It won't even bring the bartender.
But the thing of it is, too, with the club game, too, they can comp the room out. anybody know they make their money off the F&B.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they can get, but the thing with the comp game is, even if somebody give a ticket away for you, somebody gonna come see you.
Somebody is, but this is a promoter.
No, I'm not saying you in general, Robbie. I'm just saying, I'm not saying you per se. I'm saying in general.
No. I understand, but I'm saying for a promoter, and I had to look on both ends, and you understand what I'm saying, Capone. On both ends, as a promoter, when we're putting our own money up on the table, will your name bring them in? And I had to be realistic. If somebody's going to fly me up, pay my air, ground, and hotel, and my fee, will my name bring it? And I told them no. To be honest, no.
Yeah.
I said, now you bring me in co-headlining or featuring somebody,
Right.
But off the jump, promoting me, no. We have to, as comics, we still have to be realistic, because nowadays, once again, as you said, we have to be relevant, and our name is diminishing because of these internet comics.
Right. I don't even go ahead, Cap. Go ahead.
I'm going to agree, but then I'm going to disagree.
Yeah,
because I'm going to say this to you, Rob. Being, and I know it sounds like a childish saying, but being that I've been hated so much, I kind of like was forced into a predicament to make sure I kept myself relevant. And even to this day, I got a big show December 22nd. Mm-hmm. This is something that I've never done before. I've sold out many shows, but I never sold out a 3,000-seater. So how can I consider myself to be a king? How can I consider myself to be somebody who's great, and I'm not willing to take the chances of taking myself to the next level? Mm-hmm. Yeah, those clubs are good, and they get you money. But to solidify yourself as moving to that next level, you have to be able to just say, you know what? If they're not going to bank on me, I'm going to bank on myself.
You got to gamble on yourself. You got to do it. Absolutely. Go ahead, Cap. I'm sorry.
Not only is it going to be a great payday, it's also going to solidify that I'm able to do this. I'm promoting this, and then their eyes are open up again. Mm-hmm. And when they open up again, it will be me who negotiates what you're paying me, and not just giving me what you feel like you can give me.
That's right.
And a lot of us have agents. These agents ain't, they let's be realistic. They only going with whoever's hot. They'll keep you on the roster, keep you working. But if you ain't hot,
they ain't working for you like that.
No.
They not working for you like that. I mean, and everybody, and it's weird that everybody has this common goal. Everybody has this, I need an agent, I need this. And I had comics, they'd be talking to me and they'd be like, I need an agent. Once I get an agent, this. And I don't say anything. I ain't trying to kill your dreams. I've been that comic too. I ain't trying to hurt your feelings. You gonna find out by and by. And you need an agent, goddamn it, you need an agent.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then they look at me and say, you got an agent? No, ma'am. Not anymore. And exactly. I done had several of them. Mm-hmm. I done had several of them, and I'm like, Cap, you got to gamble on yourself, and you got to say to yourself, you ain't about to pay me anything.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You're not about to pay me anything, because I know my worth.
Yeah.
And I think that when you gamble on yourself, it takes you out of the mindset that we are in about needing that particular lane and vehicle.
Exactly.
And without that vehicle, we not successful. No, ma'am. No, sir. Nah. If you got the goods and you funny, you gonna make money and you gonna work out here.
Oh, yeah, no question.
You gonna work out here, and you just gotta look at it like that. So even with the influx of the internet comedian and stuff, they gonna have to come back to the real. You always gonna have to find your way back to the foundation of the thing.
Exactly.
You're gonna always have to get back to that place at some point. You got to know where it came from. You got the ancestors and a comedy. You're going to have to get back to the root of this thing eventually. But I don't think it's a bad thing that they got the internet comics in there, because it helps the veteran comics. It widens our vision, I think, and helps us look at things in a different way. And it also,
I agree.
You know what I mean, Cap? And it also puts us into doing things we did when we came up. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you got this room. Because if you think about it, outside of the club, if you can go to somebody that's been a fan for years, a promoter, and you can make that money in one night sometime what they want to pay you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, and they don't even have no paperwork. No.
Right.
They don't even want to know your numbers. You know?
But it does up our game. It ups our game.
Yeah, it up your game.
And it brings us into the modern times.
Yes.
But we also have a situation of, once again, it's an influx. You remember when Def Jam started?
Yes, I do.
They were half of our brothers and sisters. They were on the show that we knew. And even Bob Sunder even said it, he goes, wait a minute, a lot of these people didn't deserve a shot, but they got a shot because they were putting pressure on Bob. And you remember Bob back in those days. Bob was like, he was real with you. Look, you ain't ready for it. This ain't your time.
Yeah.
And people was putting pressure on Bob, complaining, hey, I need a shot. I need a shot.
Yeah.
So I remember talking to Bob one day, and Bob stepped back and said, you know what? Okay, go ahead. Mm-hmm. And these comics were tanking. Mm-hmm. Now, it wasn't personal. You just weren't ready.
You just weren't ready.
You weren't ready. And I remember all the auditions I had for Def Jam. And I wasn't ready. I remember Def Jam, next Def Jam, The Next Generation, Def Jam 2000. I remember all the showcasing auditions, and Bob was putting me on them, but I wasn't ready.
Right.
And I know that, but I didn't take it personal. And one of the biggest blessings was one night he just goes, me and Quake were hanging out, and Quake was on his way to the Universal Amphitheater. And Bob was like, look, man, won't you come open up the show? I'm like, man, I got this half a T-shirt and some jeans. So let me stop at the house. He goes, hey, man, either jump in the limo now.
Or what? Or what? Mm-hmm.
So I had that crop top and went on in there and did my little 10 minutes and ripped.
Did right.
But he thought I was ready at that time, which I was. So if I was, ignorant and trying to put, he's hating on me. No, he's not hating. We had talent bookers who actually cared about the craft and the comic and said, wait a minute, you are not ready. And we've all had them stories. Because when we did the road with these 7-minute Def Jam comics who were headlining.
Yeah.
And we had to flip the spot because we were knocking them out of the water.
Yeah.
I was doing that all up in Virginia, all up in South Carolina. And one promoter goes, well, we need to change up the lineup and have you headline. I said, well, what's up with the headline money?
Right.
We can't do that. Well, I can't headline there.
Yeah, so I don't think, and a lot of comics, and I'm glad we having this conversation because, damn, I'm dropping the phone. Sorry, y'all. A lot of comics, they get upset about the whole, the whole internet thing. And you can't get mad at people for taking advantage of a vehicle now. Let's back that off. You can think what you want to think about it, but they took advantage of a vehicle. It is a skill behind it. I look at some of them videos they do, and I'm like, I don't have the energy to do it like that.
Right.
I don't have it. I just cannot sit there in that phone like that and go off like that. It be creeping me out like I ain't even talking to nobody. Like, I could do it for a little while, but I mean, they get they skits on, and you be like, shit, this motherfucker deserve it.
They're being in the mirror. Come on, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, I'm going to do this. So, but I think we get in where we fit in. We work it how we work it. And I think that is good. And I just think you do have to get involved in it.
But it's coming full circle.
Right.
It's
all coming full circle.
I mean, I'll use this as an example. As a female comedian, you remember how much you had to go through. Mm-hmm. Especially how brothers hated on you.
Oh, my God.
Now, this is the worst part. And Cap, you know what I'm about to say. By the time Dominique hit the stage and she got off, the brother who had to follow her was the same brother talking all that mess.
Yeah.
And bombed hard.
Yeah.
And the same cat, man, you funny. You want to come do my room? And you remember how Dominique is. She would be the same. Okay, I'll holler at you. Cool. No attitude, no nothing.
No.
She would just be straight the same way. And we'd be just like, man, you don't want to go up behind her. Trust me, she gonna blow you out the water.
Yeah, so I just think when you, and I don't think we came this far to be dropped off over the internet. And like Robbie said, it's gonna come full circle. Everything does. Everything comes. Go ahead, Cap.
But you have to be prepared when it does. You can't be doing the same shit you was doing before it started.
No,
now that you know what these internet people are, you have to make yourself greater.
Yeah.
You know what? My mentor, Dave Tyree, is close to 70. Mm-hmm. When I started, I was 16 years old. Dave did a little sketch with 3 other 60-year-olds. Blake Clark, who's been in all of Adam Sandler's films. Oh my gosh, Joey Bear and not Jeff Altman. It was another Jeff, but these guys are all in their 60s. It was funny. It was a small sketch. It was funny, but they're trying to stay relevant with the times. But it's almost like they're not trying to get with us 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds. They're trying to get with these 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
So we're competing with these babies, and it's hard because they don't think we're funny.
Right, and the thing of it is, it's gonna be hard for you to compete with somebody and you old enough to be their mama and daddy. You know what I'm saying? It would be hard for us to compete with our parents. I don't even really look at it myself, Robbie, as competition. You know what I'm saying? I just look at it as you gotta niche your lane out, and you gotta figure out how you gonna get to where you going. That's how
I agree.
That's what you gotta keep working on. Go ahead, Cap.
Well, you have to look at it with 50 Cent, and same thing with rap. 50 Cent started becoming irrelevant. He went and picked up that little wild-looking dude with the rainbow, Ty Key, and put him on the record. And now all the young people who love Ty Key is now becoming fans of 50 Cent. So I'm watching Scruncho and the other girl, what's her name? Daphne.
Daphne Springs.
Daphne. Yeah. She's real popular with that attitude. And her and Scruncho got something really popping with the crazy girl and the thug, because the thug is just as crazy. And so it's very funny and it's relevant, and it gets Scruncho relevant. So sometimes you can't knock them. You have to actually try to join them. Like I like the young boy who be in the car all the time, Desi. You know, when he's screaming at his girlfriend, "Yo, stop it! Why are you doing that?" So I want to work out with something with him, but it's got to be not me changing who I am, but having him be himself and me be myself and write something that benefits both of us. Because I'm not trying to lose my fan base just because the young people don't know who I am.
Right.
I want them to get to know who I am, because once you get something hit, everything you ever did, they start to look, I didn't know he was in that. I didn't know he was in that.
Yeah, it's all about getting one. That's the crazy thing.
Exactly.
All you need is one.
And I've been hating.
If you get one, you fine.
I've been hating. As you said, sometimes we need to look at these young people and collaborate.
Robbie said. No, it's just funny. No, that's real. Robbie said, I've been hating.
I've been hating because I look at them going, I don't understand it. I don't care. Forget about them.
Right.
But you're right. I have to just say, you know what? Let me jump into this. You're right. So thank you.
Because it's with everything, dude. It's with everything. I mean, even with my businesses, you know, I'm used to telling people, hey, I open up a new store and they come up, but I got to stay on the internet 24/7. Yo, I'm open. Yo, I got this. Yo, I got that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with yourself. You have to keep yourself relevant. Even look what David Arnold did.
Yeah.
He done struck gold now. Just what he did
with
was
the
smart.
kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was good.
But not only did he do that, he paid one of these little $1 million, what's the name dudes, to put their stuff on their page. And now everybody's posting it, and that's all he needed, and now he's running with it. Now
so you say he paid one of the internet dudes?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, he paid him a couple of dollars and said, yo, put this on your page. Now everybody's starting to see it. Wow.
You can't hear me, Carl? I was saying to somebody, oh, that's good. I was talking to somebody on my live.
No, that's pretty deep. I mean,
I don't know any of them really like that. I only know one. I only know Fly Guy, DC Young Fly.
DC Young Fly.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. But I was on tour with him, but the other ones I really don't. I know who they are from the
show.
From the internet. When people say, "Oh, look at this one," most of the time my nephew tells me who it is. This one funny, that one funny, but I don't really know too many.
I hate to say it, since we're older, Facebook was our thing. Mm-hmm. Now that we're doing Instagram, that's another woo. Like my son is on. My son's 22. He's on Snapchat, and won't even friend me on Snapchat.
Nah, they don't want you on their shit.
Yeah,
you feel like you blowing their spot up, walking in there with a walker. What you know?
Well, he goes, "You're old and you're always talking about Christianity."
Yeah, he don't want you on there, Rob. He's like, nah, Pop.
No, but it's we have to find these new mediums, and D-Lay.
Yes.
Yeah.
D-Lay has, and I only see him on my Instagram. D-Lay has the funniest little clips, not only of him doing his haircut, but when he's talking to his sons. And his haircut clips are so banging. Did you see the one with Deion Sanders?
How much longer? I got a film producer calling me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. No, I didn't see those.
The one with Deion Sanders. He has Deion Sanders even imitating him.
What's with our time at, Paul? Paul, that's the producer when y'all hear me talk to Paul. Okay, we at 30. Cap, you got to go? Cap?
He said he has a producer call.
He got on hold. He was supposed to take that call.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Okay, no, Cap, you should go ahead and lead off, man, because, if you got other business and you 3 outs ahead.
Uh-huh.
You good, Cap? You good?
Yeah. I told him I'll call him right back in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I want to finish this up.
But it's my take right now is you're right. As older comics, we have to be more flexible instead of rigid. And as I stated earlier, so many comics were giving women hard times. And then because we were falling behind y'all, we had to catch up and say, man, we need to shut up and let me get her on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it's just like that. And it's just
because it makes you powerful whether you know it or not. Because every man, if you got 6 men on the show, it might not be the same jokes, but it's going to be basically the same content.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a woman on the show, she diverses everything, breaks the ice, and she gives you something to talk back on, even if you agree or disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It brings you to a medium of saying, wow, my wife is like that, or my girl is like that, or how she know this and know that. But if you got 5 or 4 guys on the show talking about the same type of thing, you'll never know what it's like to break that medium.
Right.
So that's how women became so powerful, and we adapted to them because we kind of really needed them in order, because you heard the same things over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
We needed them. And you had hard-hitting sisters, the late, great Simply Marvelous.
Absolutely.
Simp would come in and hit.
Man, Simp come in swinging.
Ooh.
Simply come in swinging. I didn't, and the thing with me with the whole internet thing, it's always been walking uphill for a woman anyway, so it ain't nothing new.
No.
You
But
know what I'm saying?
you women are the ones, you female comics are the ones who are really the backbones. Because I remember when Thea Vidal was hitting her TV show,
Mm-hmm.
Thea was still humble.
Yeah.
She was still so humble. And I remember we did a show together way out in San Bernardino. And after the show, she was like, shoot, you need to come over tomorrow. I'm cooking. I mean, but that's Thea. She was still so humble. And these comics were not only breaking ice, they were also bringing us to be more relevant to their audience. And it was, it's passing the baton. These internet comics aren't passing the baton to anybody else.
But I don't think they not passing. I don't think they know that they should do that. It's not like, but they don't get that. They don't know no better. Because, Rob, you got to think how they came through. They ain't really, I don't think they being rude or nothing like that. They don't know.
But they have to.
Well, the first bunch, let me tell you,
I think they're learning. I think they're learning.
Right. But here's where the problem came in. The young comedians that crossed over to the internet, they started stealing our jokes and putting it on there. It's a difference. There's a difference in the internet. There's some guys who are comedians who knew our jokes and would put them in skits and thought that was okay to do.
Go ahead, Cap.
I said the young comedians who were comedians first, they couldn't get no real burn. They started doing the internet thing because they got a hit to the internet stuff. And then all of a sudden they started taking our jokes and putting them into skits. And thought that was cool.
Yeah.
They had to. We old. We ain't gonna see them.
No, we ain't gonna see them. They like, you ain't gonna see them.
Wow.
So I just say we just keep grinding it out and we just keep pushing. I mean, that's all you really can do. Keep grinding it.
Exactly.
Keep grinding and keep pushing.
And don't be afraid to try something new.
And don't be afraid to try something new and gamble on yourself.
We have to. I mean, we have to matriculate to the next level. Our thing was not only doing TV and film, because I remember when I seen Zane's Sex Chronicles. When I seen Capone on there, man, I was jumping for joy. It was like me.
Yeah, you can't.
That's my boy. That's my boy. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him.
And the crazy part about it is, what's crazy about the stand-up is comics don't be getting on TV like they used to get on TV.
Well, because it's a I hate to say this, I don't want to interrupt anybody. It's a conglomerate now. Remember the package deal. We get on with a big agency. They want to package everybody on their roster. They want to go from the writers, the producers, the directors, the actors, and even the B actors. They want to have a full package so everybody's making a check. So at the end of the day, we have no way to matriculate to the next level of TV because now a network has nothing but a roster of comics on their lineup.
Wow.
A network.
Wow. That's deep.
So how can you have it when this network is also in bed with a comedy club?
Wow.
So they're gonna make sure that all their clients on their roster is gonna work.
Wow.
Everybody's gonna work. They have to eat.
Wow.
So we're getting the crumbs.
I had to call back, Paul. I had to call back. Can you hear it? Okay.
Sorry, we're on a brief hold.
We on a brief hold. Sorry, y'all. Sorry about that.
Your live listeners aren't going to be able to hear the phone call.
Oh.
They are?
They are.
Okay.
Hello?
Cap, we back. What happened, Cap?
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. We got him back. Sometimes we on the phone. We got him back.
That was prepaid in New York, so 9X is no longer.
Can y'all hear me on this live now? I'm new to this live stuff. I don't know if you tell me if you can hear me or not. If you could hear us, so I just think that, like Cap said, he doing the show. He's stepping outside, and that's what you gotta keep doing.
But he's stepping out the original way.
Do you think the internet people really selling tickets like they say they selling them? What about you, Cap? Robbie says no. Robbie says no.
I can tell you this from my experience, because I've been on after some of them, that even the club owners was like, well, I won't ever book him again, or I won't book her.
Yeah,
so it's a good run, but you get the complaints from the people. Oh, man, even though they paid their money, it was like, I'll never pay to see them again. I could have seen that shit on the internet.
On the internet. There's one cat, and the ladies love this guy, Lonnie B.
Oh yeah.
Lonnie B. Now,
yeah, the gay dude.
The gay dude. Good morning, girl. I
don't know that.
This dude, I saw some of Lonnie B's clips. But what got me was he had booked a couple of venues, and these were some small 100 to 200 seater venues. And these shows were sold out.
Wow.
Sold out. Now
I've seen him do 700.
You see him do 700?
Now who is Lonnie B? Where he from? He on the internet?
He's a gay dude that tells every girl that I'm a good girlfriend. And to be honest, for a man, he seems to know a lot about a woman because he's gay, but he kicks positive shit. Girl, don't you let nobody tell you what they doing, bitch. And you do.
Oh, okay.
That dude. So they pay to see him.
And when I seen the clips, not even the clips, you remember Polestar would give us our numbers.
Yes.
When I seen this guy's numbers, I said, he is brilliant. Because just like we were talking earlier, he wasn't hitting these hard markets and trying to get these big venues. He was getting his base and building up that momentum. And so since he has his internet fan base, Lonnie kept on building his momentum. And then bam, like Pone said, here he is, 700 seats. That's smart.
Good. That's smart.
That's smart. But he was, you don't hear, his show was, no, you're not hearing that. You're hearing testimonials of, this guy had me laughing. He was to the point, people are really on point with it.
Okay, that's good. All right, I want to ask y'all something else. I don't know what happened with Cap. I keep losing Cap. Keep on losing. He gonna come back on. But I think this is an interesting conversation that we have, and I really do. So he's going So this what else I want to. So we didn't talk about that. I know y'all been listening. I know y'all say we talking about this comic business, but it's serious business. And to the veteran comics, it's like we really talk about these things, and it helps when I talk to different comics about it because it brings about different resolve. you hear different things, and this has been a good conversation. Gamble on yourself. That's one takeaway we can get. Robbie said, "I've been hating on him. Fuck. I just been what? That's what it is." So but I just think if you could, and I think the veteran comments, just don't get mad about it. Ain't no reason to get upset about it.
Right.
It's all good.
I agree.
It's gonna work out. Like Robbie said, it's gonna come full circle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's gonna come all the way full circle. Cause I don't care what you do on the internet and the stage and the microphone, they two different things.
Exactly.
But I have to be honest and say that I did hate because there's a lot of us.
Yeah, it's more than a lot.
Yeah.
It's the masses.
But there's a lot of us veteran comics who are like that, and I just have to say it because I was hating.
Yeah.
I was hating. Well, why do I need to do that? I'm used to, nuh-uh.
Right.
I have to go with.
Don't get me wrong. I was too until I actually saw the process that it takes, and then I started feeling like, damn, I'm only hating because I'm lazy and I don't want to do this, and it's nothing hard.
Yeah.
And then some of my veteran comedians who was on tour with me, I watched them hate for no reason, and let's give it a shot. And you know what? It's something that is out of your comfort zone. And anytime you get out of your comfort zone, you have a problem with it. And that's with anybody.
That's with anybody.
Scared. You can go rip 3,000 shows, but you'll remember the first show that you bombed.
Yeah.
After those 3,000.
Yeah, you can't. You really. It's no reason to hate on it. Mm-hmm. I think what really got the veteran comics bothered. This is what I really think got the veteran comics bothered. Is when you've been in this business a while and you brought up on, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way. This is the model. Do it this way, do it this way, and then all of a sudden, you get to this place and it ain't do it that way no more. You ain't do it that way no more. And I think that I think another thing that bothers the veteran comics is the quick success of it. Mm-hmm. The quick success of it. Usually when people had quick success and that kind of stuff, and when they usually get breaks and stuff, you seen them work and you understand it. And you get why they got this particular break. It makes sense to you why they got this particular break. You know what I'm saying? When you see with the internet and it's overnight and they just like boom, 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 you like, God damn. You know what I'm saying?
For them, it's
I think that's why so many people have the misconception with Kevin Hart saying he ain't funny and he did this and did that. I watch Kevin work, man.
Man, that man work. They got him wrong now. They got his business confused now.
And the thing is, he might not have been like a banger when he was coming up, but he worked. I watched him. I watched him work from Philly to New York every night. Yeah,
this man worked though. Yeah, he worked.
Yeah.
He did work. They can't say that about him because he worked.
Right.
Well, not only his work ethic, the cat is funny. He's creative.
Yes, he's creative.
He's very creative.
Yeah.
Yes.
But remember, you have creative comics like him, like JB Smooth.
Woo,
JB, remember, JB would
He worked.
He worked.
Right.
But he was so creative that people was like, oh my gosh, where have you been?
Mm-hmm.
Grinding.
Mike
Epps. You remember when Mike was an impressionist?
Yeah.
And people go, Mike Epps. I said, when I met Mike in the late 90s, he was an impressionist and dead on. Mm-hmm. I said, but it's his work ethic and he's funny. But you're right. We're in the slowest get-rich-quick scheme ever.
Yeah. And it's crazy when you've been here for 20 years and all of a sudden you like, well, damn. This is it right here. You just like this. Oh, okay.
But let me ask y'all a question. Y'all know mostly all the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying this because I'm a businessman. How many, hands down, can you honestly say have betted their last on themselves? And how many of them have waited? Exactly. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's
no. I know a few.
But how many out of all the veterans you know, though, Robbie? You don't know that many is his point.
Well, sort of, because we can go from coast to coast.
Okay.
And Shang being one out here,
mm-hmm.
Damon Williams in Chicago being another,
mm-hmm.
Razor and Marvin Dixon,
mm-hmm.
Prescott Gilliam,
yeah.
Akintunde Warnock.
Akintunde, yeah.
Okay, we can go with Capone right now. We can go with Smokey, Rob Stapleton, Freddie Ricks and what Freddie's doing out there right now. Shoot, we got to go with Courtney G.
No, I can say I can agree to one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Prescott opened up an arena for comedians to do their thing. He went the extra mile, and not only did he, do his comedy club, but he partnered up with some heavy hitters and to expand into a bigger comedy club. So that I can understand. When I'm talking about people who gambled with themselves, I'm talking about cats that, all right, I'm going to put it out there. I mean, Mike is my man. Mike done been in several movies, but I have not seen a Mike Epps production. I don't know if it's one yet, but I haven't.
I think Meet the Blacks is one. I don't know any of the others, but I think Meet the Black. You saying solely, Cap, or in collaboration?
I'm saying no, like his solely putting out a movie on his own. I don't even think Kevin Hart did that.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin did.
You understand what I'm saying? Like Damon Dash was a music mogul. He went into film and said, "Hey, I'm gonna give this a shot," and he took a gamble and he won. To a lot of different degrees. He won so much that they kind of blackballed him because they didn't want him in that arena. So I don't know. Kevin Hart got enough money. I know he started the AOL, but to sit down and say, hey, I'm going to start producing films.
Did he do one? Robbie said he did one, Cap. What he do, Robbie?
Night School.
Okay, the new one coming out.
His?
Yeah, that's his. Him and Will Packard. Yeah, that's his.
That's great.
I think that Meet the Blacks is the Meet the Blacks mics. I think that.
But even with his, he's doing everything that he's doing with Laugh Out Loud, Heart of the City, Laugh at Night.
Right.
All the little ones he's doing. That's under his banner. But you're right. There's very, very few to none. Even Steve Harvey's not even jumping that.
No.
Right.
But you're right.
And my question is why? Why can't we do it? Ice Cube did it, and he did it to a point where he put his money up, and then he got these people to back him up where he never had to look back again, ever.
Because I believe we're not at that level, and some of us look at that, we have to have a certain bracket that we have to hit. And once we hit that bracket.
Because people are not going to the movies like they used to.
No.
People are paying more attention to the internet. So if you got these YouTubes, or you got these Hulos, or whatever the different ones, Netflix, you can create the content and put it out there. And if it don't work, I've seen somebody, and I'm going to say this because I'm about to do this shit. I've seen somebody put their money together in a film and sold the shit online for $5. And every motherfucking body that he knows. I'm sorry, Dominique. I don't know if I'm supposed to curse.
Yeah, you can, no doubt. You can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
can. But when it come down to getting that money, you know how I get excited.
Yes.
$5, and everything comes to him. The dude made over $2 million.
Wow.
Yeah,
what is
the funniest thing is that's something I thought about as well.
Yeah. So you said he put out what, Cap?
He put his own film. I don't know how much he took, but I know it don't take nothing to get something together now. So what I'm saying is, here we go, and this is my thinking process. You got these little guys that's on this internet, and they pop it. Go get them, put them in a little role. They're going to shoot your film to 1 million people because they got 1 million followers.
Yeah,
and you can put something together that's so, simple and funny. It's just got to be, you got to take the time to do it. And if nobody picks it up, go online and put yourself into an account where they have to buy it for $2-3. And if you got 1 million motherfuckers buying it, that's $2-3 million that come directly to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
People are not seeing it like that.
No, because it's
look at it like that.
It's still an original move, but it's still old. Because remember the days we would do our own CDs.
Yes.
We would press before we had DVDs, we had our own comedy CDs.
Yes.
So if we were lucky enough to get on with a small label, the label would give us X amount of CDs. So oh my gosh, I got merch now. Mm-hmm. So we had merch we were selling at our shows. Okay. They would give us, they'd give us a gross. Then we'd have to buy. Then there was a guy, David Drozen, who did Uproar Records. Mm-hmm. What David did was he was giving points. Mm-hmm. So you'd get so many points per sale of your CD. Mm-hmm. And a lot of comics were hitting licks on that. They were enjoying it. But now it's dwindling down because remember, this is what we got, Cap. We got so many comedy stations on XM radio.
Hell yeah.
Which I'm getting a check for that.
There you
You
go.
have to sign the sign exchange.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
found that these niggas owe me thousands of dollars now. I just getting recouped for my stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't even know about it.
Didn't know about
you was on Sirius?
I'm on every one of them from Pandora and all of them. Once you sign the SoundCloud, they got to pay you for back. I don't give a fuck if your shit was 7 years to 10 years. If they
I
ever
don't
played
even
you,
know if I was
they gotta
on
give
there.
you-
You're on there. You're on half of
Yes.
them. And what
Have you heard me?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
For everybody. This is what you forget, Dominique. This is content exchange. That's basically what they're doing is content exchange. They'll run it.
Exactly.
It's just like our commercials. They'll run us 13 weeks in a cycle. After that cycle, they're going to send it to somebody else.
But when I asked Sound Exchange last time, they said they couldn't find me. Maybe I
That's
asked.
because you need to find out who recorded you because it's always a half deal. The kid from Atlanta Comedy Club, he recorded me and put mine out. This nigga is making thousands because he signs everybody and he gets 50%. Him and Gary split the 50%. So they're getting their checks already. So whatever.
So I just got to find out who recorded me?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Okay.
Or you could call Sound Exchange yourself and say, hey, I'm Dominique. I have a recording on there. They're using my material, and I want to know. And they'll give you a number. And once that number come up, that's the number that keeps registering. So I got like 7 to 8 numbers that they got to pay for.
Oh, well, I need to call them because when I called that first, they was like they couldn't find me.
As long as they hear anybody who heard you, somebody recorded you.
And that's retroactive.
They present it to them because they are getting paid from you. I'm telling you right now. If you ever did the Uptown Comedy Club, find out from that.
Yeah, I did Uptown.
I mean, not the Uptown. The what's that club? The Atlanta Comedy Theater.
Yeah, I did Atlanta Comedy Theater.
Yeah, and they recorded you, and you signed any type of paper that they're going to do a 50-50. You need to find out because they definitely put you on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna find that out.
So,
and you're surprised that am I on it? Yes, you on there.
But because I called before and they said I wasn't on there.
Because nobody
They talking about they couldn't find me or whatever the hell.
Somebody could put your name or they go by your comedy skits.
Oh, okay.
Like my Big Willie and Wingerly, that's the one that got me famous on there. So that's the one they was going by. And then they put it because the person is a partnership always.
Okay.
The person is the producer and then there's the voice.
Yeah. Comics who I wouldn't even think of got in.
Because I'm like, have I ever been on there? Am I on there? Robbie said, I'm on there.
And you're going to see and you're going to find out because you have those retroactive checks. There's so many, like Capone has been saying, we've got so many different revenue streams, but it's weird because these things have been in place. And now that the internet is more prevalent, we forget about it.
Right.
Because remember, XM was so popular. Everybody wanted to get on. And there's 4 or 5 comedy channels now?
Yeah, it's a lot.
And they're regurgitating everything.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So these are sound clips. We're getting paid for sound clips.
But I got to call. So I just call them, Cap, and see what's going on?
Yeah, call them, find out, because whoever's using your name, you tell them that you heard yourself on the radio. Sound Exchange, and they have to do a research, and then they'll give you an email thing, and you go buy it, whatever one. Or if somebody hears it, they tell them what joke you use, and they got to go by that. It's just like ASCAP. They constantly give out checks. The checks add up. Trust me when I'm telling you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to sure find that out. Okay, I wanted to ask y'all about this before we go. I want to know what y'all think about this. This is a story I want y'all to know. Okay. It's a story about Candy Barris from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's reportedly at odds with her husband. It says Candy Barris of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She bought her 16-year-old daughter, Riley, a Porsche for her 16th birthday. Her husband did not agree with that. He said that she needed a Honda Civic or something along those lines. Well, they said Candy basically told him to mind his own damn business as it pertains to what she bought her daughter. What do you all think about that? Now, this is not his kid, but this is his step kid here.
Mhm.
But she doesn't have a dad that's in her life. So my guess would be he is being dad because there's no dad in her life like that. So what do you got? What do you think about it?
My personal views with that is that she just destroyed her relationship with her husband.
I can see
And the reason I say that is because he's right. She should have talked it out to her husband first. But anytime you are in a relationship with a woman and she makes you feel uncomfortable with the separation of your child, and you're trying to make be a father to this child, and she, the woman, clearly lets you know that you're not the father, you're creating havoc. Now the man don't want to be around the child or anything like that.
He can't discipline the child. There is no say.
Exactly.
That's a wash.
She's 16 years old. She's a child.
So she should have listened to him and came up with a better idea. She should have listened to him.
They should have talked about it.
They should have talked about it, and they should have came up to a happy medium instead of her basically saying, "I'm getting her what I want to get her."
And I agree. I agree with Capone totally. And I could only say in my situation, when I bought my son's first car, it was a Jeep Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, 96. The same year he was born, the same year his car was made. And he rode that till the wheels fell off. And the wheels fell off. The wheels literally fell off. He learned more about a car because of his first car.
Wow.
And his next one that we're getting is a Lexus. It ain't gonna be a new Lexus. It'll be new to him.
Right.
But if I had the money, like Candy, I would have made the first car a used car, not a Porsche, something practical.
And I wonder if it's going to be a conflict too, because he has a daughter. I don't think she's that young. I think she's a little older than Candy's daughter. And it's like, what's she driving? Because we supposed to be one big family. That can be an issue too.
It is. It's going to be a show off.
Yeah.
He's going to, if he's petty, he's going to try to show her out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only if he's petty.
But no, I don't think he's going to show her out. I think he's going to be smart. And it's going to cause problems because Todd is not the type of guy that he's a street hustler. He's somebody who's been around. And Candy has been rich for a while. So it's always been a situation to where everybody thought Todd was just coming in for her money. And he wasn't.
Right.
But when you try to belittle a man, you're going to have issues. That's all I'm going to say.
All the time.
I just wanted to know, and she going to start saying little subtle things where he changed.
No, you know what? He may.
I think he's going to change.
He may or he may or he may not. It's. I can use this as the best example. If you and I are in a relationship and at the end of the day, you do something like this, I can be petty or I can be mature. Now, the pettiness, there's going to be a change. There's going to be some separation. There's going to be some dissension. But the mature me is going to go, no. This is only matriculating to really a total dissolution of this because I've already matured. I see where you're going. I'm thinking about tomorrow and frugality. I don't have to show both to anybody. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, you go right ahead. You can go right ahead by yourself. I was fine before you. I'll be fine with you and after you.
But it's gonna cause problems, though. That's gonna be a big problem. And I wonder. I guess I really wonder why if her husband told her don't buy that girl that car, what made her say, "Man, fuck what you talking about? I'm about to buy my daughter this car." Anyway. Right? What really made her say that? It has to be another reason for her to be like, dude, whatever. I think sometimes in entertainment, and her mother been in this business a long time, she might feel like I'm going to get her what she want because I miss time.
You're right.
I miss time.
Making up for it.
I'm making up for the time I wasn't here and the time that I missed doing what I was able to do.
Trying to compensate,
Yeah, but not that has anything to do with not listening to
your husband. She probably just said, it ain't coming out your allowance.
Conversation with him about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or basically saying.
I was wrong on something like that. I remember my ex-wife, I wanted a motorcycle. And my son was like 6 years old. She said, no, you ain't gonna get no motorcycle. I said, oh, really? The next day I had a motorcycle.
Wow.
the next day just to prove I'm going to get what I want.
And there probably was a lot of those things. That's why you saying ex-wife now.
It was on her, though. I know what I did. I know what I did. I can only account for me. But I was wrong. I was wrong for that. I was not only wrong, I was stupid and immature for that.
Mm-hmm.
I had that motorcycle for 1 month and gave it to Nima Williams.
Wow.
$50.
Wow. But hopefully it works. I just want to know what y'all thought about that. Hopefully it works out though. I hope it work out for them. You know, that he don't be like, hopefully she'll be to see like, okay, I was on.
Was this on the show?
I don't know. It probably will be in the upcoming season, but I the show's not on right. You know, the new season hasn't started, so I'm sure it'll be on the upcoming season.
What show is this?
Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't allow ghetto-ness in my house.
Okay, the Queen of Soul died. Did anybody check out the funeral?
I didn't see the series finale. Did you, Paul?
Yeah.
I mean, the funeral was so long. I ain't not said I know she was the queen, but gee,
She
Monique.
almost got resurrection.
I mean, they changed the clothes. She had lunch. I mean, the shit was way out there.
Yeah.
Between her and that other show they had, the McCain funeral.
Oh, I had turned that off though. Lisa Aretha Franklin's thing was like a cabaret. You know what I mean?
Cabaret.
Hell yeah, they had singers up and they had Shaka Khan up there singing "Going Up Yonder." I was laughing. Then at the end, Shaka Khan ain't been in church in forever. Shaka Khan like, hallelujah.
Wait, was Patty there?
I ain't seen it.
She had the words on her fan.
Yeah, she did, Cap. She was looking at that fan. She ain't know that. But Ronald Isley sang "His Eyes on the Sparrow."
Really?
Yeah, but it just sounded like he was singing in between the sheets. I was like, you ain't supposed to get like Eddie Murphy on the Nutty Professor. You ain't supposed to get moist off of his eyes on the sparrow. Really? Really?
I'm singing about Jesus.
He used to be singing, but he was hitting all them.
Church.
Ooh, you know that Mr. Big. He was like his eyes on the sparrow. La da 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 da. He hit all of them joints.
I couldn't watch it. It was just.
It was real long. Though.
It was coonery to the 10th power to me.
It was like it was real, like it was a cabaret.
You had a pastor grabbing Ariana Grande's breast.
God.
You see the way what's his name? Al was sitting so close to Jesse, and they were so far from Farrakhan, and
yeah, it was a lot going on.
It was too much, and Bill was falling asleep. I thought he had hit some weed. It was just
because it was a long funeral. The funeral was about 10 hours. That's a long home going. She had left and went home.
Yeah,
they were still sitting there.
Yeah,
so it was good though. It was. Rest in peace to Aretha Franklin.
I was just wondering if honestly, if Patti LaBelle, if they squashed everything, but
they probably did.
Nah, guess not.
I guess she wasn't there. Because McCain did the ultimate diss. I don't want that nigga at my funeral. He called Trump the N-word.
Hell yeah, that John McCain funeral was so boring. I was like, man, he taking me down. It's like a bedtime story.
Well, you have to realize this. It was a lot of shade at Aretha Franklin. I mean, at her funeral. She was the queen of shade. So everything
she threw shade.
Played, yes.
She threw shade.
No matter
that's
where
for
she
sure.
went, she did.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, she'll throw some shade at you now.
I didn't know that, huh?
You saw her throw shade. That's why you asking about Patti LaBelle. You know she threw that shade at Patti LaBelle. Patti LaBelle reached her home. Oh, she swung herself all the way around not to touch Patti LaBelle.
Yeah, I remember that.
Patti LaBelle was looking like, come on, Riri. She was like, don't touch me, baby girl.
Yeah.
You know what that was? You know what that was all about?
What?
I'm always buying weed. You ain't ever buying none. You always smoking.
I saw a meme with Aretha Franklin on there had a shady look on her face, and the meme said, this heifer better not bring them dried up ass pies to my repast.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's real bad. I said that's terrible. I appreciate y'all. Though. We gonna wrap this thing up. I appreciate y'all for stopping through.
Thank you.
Tell them your social media handle so these people on here can follow you. Whoever wants to go first is cool.
I'm Comedian Capone, and that's my Instagram, and my Twitter is Comedian Capone. Thanks, Dominique.
I appreciate you, Cap.
And
Robbie?
it's Robb Peron on Facebook and Instagram, ROBBPERON. And y'all check out Dominique and Capone on both their tours because they hit the East Coast. I know that. Me, I'm just out here on the West Coast because I got a couple of smaller projects that I'm doing, so I'm staying stationary. But check out, is it the New York Kings of Comedy?
We're on the New York Kings, and I'm still Gangster Tour.
Amen.
Absolutely.
So y'all please check that out. And
I'm being on Nashville Zany Sundays, the 16th of September. Friday the 7th, I'll be in Kansas City at the Gym Theater. September the 22nd, I'll be at Huntsville at the Stand Up Live in Huntsville. So y'all get your tickets and check that out. Dominique Comedi, COMEDI. And until next time, we appreciate you and we'll see you then. And we out.
out.